Hello, and once again, welcome to Introduction to Social Welfare. This is Unit 8, Diversity and Social Policy. Um, okay, so this week's reading, it is Graham, Shear, and Delaney, Chapter 6, and also the Employment Equity Act, which is this week's chat discussion. You get to advocate for a fellow named George, and that scenario using the Employment Equity Act is in my course on, or my booth online in the course shell for this unit. So keep that in mind, and again, this video is just to help your thinking while you read the text. So some things to think about. What is meant by diversity? In relation to social policy, the term diversity reflects the reality that different people in Canada occupy different statuses and social locations in relation to the state and its policies. And what is social location? Social location is it's who you are, what's influenced you as growing up. So in my case, I'm an immigrant. I am not Canadian born. I was born in the Philippines. We immigrated to Canada. We were poor. So I grew up in the lower income. Sorry, just getting a text there. Also, I'm a person of color. And so that has influenced me in how I view the world and how I am received by the world, by this society. I am not part of the dominant group. I half jokingly say that at least I was born a man. If I was a female, and if I had a disability besides my need for corrective lenses, but if I had, if I also had, say, cerebral palsy, and I was in a wheelchair, like, oh my gosh, the compounded effects of being, barriers or disadvantages, that would affect who I am today, right? As a middle-aged man, it would affect, and it does affect how I view the world. If I came from a single lone parent family, right? All these things sort of they affect who you are, and it's your social location. And some people, they win the lottery. They win that social lottery. Like, gosh, if I was a white single male, the world would be mine. I'd have so many opportunities. The world would be tilted in my favor. And that's what we talk about diversity. So not everyone starts at the same starting line. If you've taken any of my other courses in class, then we probably did something like something very close to a privilege walk, to illustrate that. Really can't do that online, at least not in an effective way. But what are your experiences with diverse groups, right? Diverse as in people of color, LGBTQ, individuals with disabilities, etc., etc. What are your experiences? I will say this, that I come alive when I am with brown people. My partner is not, she's not brown. She is white, and I can go and go to her family's home and spend time with her family, nuclear and immediate and extended. and be surrounded by people that don't look like me. Um, and and they live out of the city. And then when we come back into the city, and I like, even if I go into, say, the gas station after pouring gas, and I see brown people, I come alive. It's like I can joke a certain way. It's like we have this rapport. Um, like, all of a sudden I have, like, my sense of humor is different. Um, that's I come alive. And my experiences of attending. I too attended Booth University College, and in my experience, the student body when I was there was largely white, and I was a little bit older than the student body as well, um, and I'm sorry, so there's some people yelling out of the some conflict out here on the street. Huh. I live in a quiet neighborhood. It's just strange to see. Um, Anyways, I used to live in the North End. If you know where the North End is of Winnipeg, it's kind of it's not a quiet neighborhood. I miss it in at a lot of levels. But anyways, as I was saying, gosh, what was I saying? Um, I don't remember, and I don't really wanna go back in this video. But yeah, I come alive. I come alive with people that look like me. Oh yeah, so when I went to Booth, it was primarily a white student body, and in order for me to connect, I wasn't really making a lot of friends, and that's not really why I went there. But it was good to just have people that I can talk to about our same vision for our career, some sort of passion, and just talk about the practical things of assignments, group work. How do I connect with a primarily white student body was that I made references to Friends and Seinfeld. I have never seen an episode of Friends. I've never seen an episode of Seinfeld because they don't. When I watch that show, I don't see myself represented in it. It's an all-white cast. It doesn't really speak to me. But if I make those references, then all of a sudden I'm in. I'm not this cultural other. That's my experiences. When I look at other diverse groups, say LGBTQ, LGBTQ plus. In my lifetime, I never thought that there would be same-sex marriage in my lifetime, and yet it happened. In 2003, it happened. Like, that's amazing. Every year there's a pride march, and if you look back at how Pride started as a riot with a person of color. It was a riot, and now Pride is like this capitalist, like, commercial event, and the privilege for the LGBT community is still largely with the white LGBTQ community. So there's is it QPOC or BIPOC in Winnipeg? I'm sorry, I kind of forget the actual acronym now. But they're doing a whole lot of work in Winnipeg for the people of color LGBTQ community. Look for them on Facebook and social media, Instagram. But they're doing a whole lot of work. And also women, right? If we look at women as a group, like patriarchy, it's so ingrained in culture. Misogyny. There's the wage gap. Women are responsible for doing emotional labor. That emotional labor of, like, making everyone in the household happy, right? Like, it becomes their responsibility, and that's a social construct. And also, disabilities. If we look at how we can deliver services for for individuals with disabilities, right? There's all sorts of policy areas like housing, independent living, income security, physical access, compensation, communication and access to information and education, health and safety legislation, research, human rights, anti-discrimination. It goes on and on. And also geography. You know, northern Canada. It's essentially third world standards there. You know, no clean water. You know, or a boiling advisory. Like, um, it's it's a travesty. At any rate, I'm gonna cut this a little short here. We're at about the 11-minute mark. Give a read to the Employment Equity Act. Let's discuss advocating for George to be hired. Okay, I will. I'll talk to you in the chat room, and then I will see you next week. All right, thanks. Bye.